Lads, Angel Reese is currently about to be suspended. She has 7 technical fouls on the season. And if this was last season, in a 44-game season, she would have already been suspended.
Angel Reese is treading a fine line that could lead to her suspension from the WNBA, following a recent emotional outburst on the court that stunned both fans and analysts. Her accumulation of technical fouls is raising serious concerns, and if things continue this way, a suspension seems likely. Honestly, it's time someone addressed this escalating issue.
Not only does bricklayer Ratchet Reese lead the league in turnovers, she also leads the league in technical fouls with 7. And if she gets one more technical foul, her goofy ass is sitting down to be suspended for a game, man, because she can't control that ratchet bad attitude that I tell y'all about.
Angel Reese has already racked up 7 technical fouls in just 22 games through July 2025, a staggering number for any professional athlete in such a short stretch. One more, and she'll face serious consequences, as WNBA rules now impose an automatic 1-game suspension at 8 technicals. Although the league raised the threshold from 7 to 8 this season to account for the expanded 44-game schedule, Reese is still teetering dangerously close to that limit.
You got Angel.
Reese.
We're dribbling. Cross.
Clear to Cove and Angel Reese.
Fouled.
Take her on the dribble. A lot of ball on that play. You can see by the facial expression of Marie. She knew she had a lot of ball as well.
I can see it.
Angel Reese going inside. She's using her size and physicality, trying to push Kalundakova off the space. Angel Reese has already drawn 3 fouls, and I think she just got...
The WNBA has increasingly allowed players to push the boundaries of aggression not just toward opponents, but even toward their own coaches. This season, there's been a troubling rise in technical fouls across the league. According to ESPN, players had already been issued 92 technical fouls before the All-Star break in one recent season, 11 more than the total for the entire previous year. Coaches weren't far behind either, collecting another 30 technicals with nearly 20% of the season still left to play.
Genuinely, one of the funny things about this is that her fans are arguing that none of the techs are warranted. They are all warranted. Like, what are we talking about? Every one of these techs are warranted. I'm not joking when I say this. They're like, oh, 4 of her 7 techs have been from double techs. Yeah. Something happens in the game and you square up to your opponent. It's a double tech. And your opponent, you go head to head with your opponent's a double tech. It's never not been a double tech.
The league's head of officiating has tried to downplay the rise in technical fouls, insisting there's no league-wide effort to crack down harder. But the stats tell a different story, and players have definitely noticed. Dallas Wings center Liz Campage spoke out, sharing how she received a technical simply for giving a referee a look. This kind of emotional tension is exactly what we're seeing with Angel Reese, man.
Goofy ass Ratchet Reese out here doing so great on the court with that bad ratchet attitude, racking up tech after tech after tech, man. Fake ass point forward, leading the league in turnovers because she wants to act like she's a point guard so bad, to act like she's better than Caitlin Clark when her ass can't dribble or do anything. How the fuck are you a forward leading in turnovers because you want to try to be a point guard so bad with no...
If you're enjoying this, please subscribe. Now, speaking of crossing the line with coaching staff, let's talk about the moment Angel Reese slapped the whiteboard out of her own coach's hands. With less than 30 seconds left in a tied game against the Washington Mystics, Reese aggressively knocked the clipboard from assistant coach and Crosby's grip. The incident was caught on national TV and quickly went viral.
People are picking up on is when she is walking over to the bench and she slaps the clipboard out of her coach's hand. And you guys, my honest reaction to this when I first saw it, I was just laughing. It's kind of like the reaction that you're seeing from me right here. I wouldn't look into this too hard. I know it's already become controversial because they're like, oh, if another player did this, there would be think pieces written about it.
And Crosby, who also serves as the team's vice president of basketball operations and strength and conditioning coach, was simply trying to communicate with Reese during the timeout when the Chicago Sky Star lost her composure. The raw emotion and blatant disrespect in that moment was a shocking act of public defiance, exposing deep fractures within a franchise teetering on the edge of collapse. It perfectly illustrates the emotional immaturity that has marred her second season. And this wasn't an isolated incident. Earlier in the year, Reese admitted that she and her teammates were fed up with being cussed out by Coach Tyler Marsh and his staff. Comments like these reveal a serious breakdown in the player-coach relationship far beyond typical competitive tension.
Emotional decline continues for Angel Reese. The temper tantrums, the complete loss of emotional control continues for the Bayou Barbie, as well as the Chi-Town Barbie and Double Double Barbie, and whatever other alias that Angel Reese has decided to give.
Now, let's talk about how Angel Reese tried to boost her own profile by launching her shoe during the All-Star game, clearly leveraging Caitlin Clark's star power. Knowing that Clark's presence as team captain would draw huge viewership, Reese unveiled her Reebok Angel Reese 1 Meb Bounds colorway during the event. The timing was strategic and obvious. Reese wanted to ride the wave of Clark's popularity to maximize attention for her signature shoe. But just as she aimed to make a splash, she now faces the very real threat of suspension for accumulating too many technical fouls. The timing couldn't be worse if she gets suspended right after launching her shoe. It could create an awkward situation that seriously damages both her reputation and shoe sales.
There is the part of me that's like, is this really necessary? And shouldn't Angel Reese be able to market herself at this point without invoking or even, insinuating some sort of attachment to Caitlin Clark? Because if I'm being honest about it, people say that moment was huge. It will live forever. That moment will live forever. But Caitlin Clark was on this trajectory already. And if anyone has benefited more from the attachment, at least from an attention standpoint.
From a viewership standpoint, the attention Angel Reese hoped to capture was nowhere to be found. Without Caitlin Clark healthy and participating, neither the game nor Reese's shoe announcement generated the buzz they might have otherwise. The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game drew 2.2 million viewers, a 36% drop from the previous year's record of 3.44 million. While still the second most watched All-Star Game in league history, the decline was directly linked to Clark's absence due to injury. This impact was clear beyond just TV ratings. Ticket prices in Indianapolis plummeted from $121 to as low as $64 on TickPick after Clark pulled out. Clark's influence extends far beyond viewership. Indiana Fever games with her average nearly 16,800 fans, almost double the 8,552 seen at games without her. When Clark is playing, arenas often have to be moved to larger venues to meet the overwhelming demand.
All-Star Weekend, it's supposed to be the star of all stars. All the big dogs is out. Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, everybody's out. The big dogs are out. You got the rookie, you got Angel Reese, Miss Me Too. All of the stars are here. And look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't.
This brings us to an uncomfortable truth many in the WNBA hesitate to admit. Angel Reese is not Caitlin Clark. Yes, Clark has struggled with injuries this season, missing significant time due to quad and groin issues, but even an injured Caitlin Clark generates more interest and excitement than a healthy Angel Reese. In 2025, Clark has battled 3 separate soft tissue injuries, sidelining her for nearly 40% of Indiana Fever games. She's dealt with left quad strains, left groin problems, and most recently a right groin injury that kept her out of All-Star Weekend. Despite these setbacks, her influence on the league remains unmatched. In fact, even WNBA games without Clark have seen a surge in viewership, averaging 428,000 viewers compared to 301,000 last year, a 40% increase. This clearly shows that while Clark elevates everything she touches, she's also helping raise the profile of the entire league.
Here's the actual, let's take it seriously for a second. Take over your trap. I mean, who's she talking about right there? Because Clark takes over every single trap she goes to. In fact, they gotta expand the trap so she can take over more real estate. Every single place she goes to. I mean, there is zero argument to possibly be made that she isn't the biggest attraction, the one that brings the most attention, whatever. It's not.
I believe many in the WNBA and its sponsors would prefer to see an injured Caitlin Clark on the court rather than a healthy Angel Reese, simply because of the massive audience Clark brings to the sport. This isn't just speculation. It's backed by solid data and market trends. Clark has fundamentally shifted the WNBA's audience demographics. Nielsen data shows every key demographic has seen at least double-digit viewership increases, with the biggest gains among young viewers, male audiences, and white fans. On ESPN networks, Viewership among girls aged 2 to 17 has surged by 181%, while viewers aged 18 to 34 are growing 54 percentage points faster than the league's overall growth. Meanwhile, despite being timed around the high-profile All-Star Weekend, Reese's signature shoe launch failed to create comparable mainstream buzz. While her Reebok partnership is notable, it hasn't achieved the same cultural impact as Clark's endorsements. The Mebound's branding, although clever, feels more like a defensive marketing move rather than the bold, aspirational messaging that drives major commercial success.
So sorry for only one person, that's Caitlin Clark for the WNBA. Someone who actually brought hope, brought decorum, professionalism, brought excitement, the magic to the league, and it's like this whole league is trying to extinguish the magic, the positivity. And I don't believe in this whole, women support women. Nah. The WNBA really shows that's not the case, man. They really destroyed that.
What's particularly frustrating is the league's inconsistent approach to discipline. While Angel Reese continues to accumulate technical fouls and display emotional outbursts with minimal consequences, other players are held to different standards. Fans and coaches alike have called for more consistent enforcement of rules amid growing scrutiny of officiating and player conduct. Reese's $1,800 in fines for 7 technicals is a mere slap on the wrist for someone who has repeatedly shown she can't keep her emotions in check on the court. In contrast, other players have faced far harsher penalties for less severe infractions. The team itself has struggled with discipline and internal friction when your supposed star publicly admits that the squad is tired of being yelled at by coaches. It's a clear sign of serious organizational dysfunction. The clipboard incident wasn't just disrespectful toward Coach Crosby, it damaged team morale and chemistry. Younger players witnessing their veteran leader openly disrespect coaching staff may start to see that behavior as acceptable, fostering a toxic culture that undermines the organization's efforts to build a sustainable future.
Every single time anyone goes hard fouls Angel Reese or goes near Angel Reese, she squares up to them. And I mean it. Like, I don't care. By the way, I don't care about this. I don't care about standing up for teammates. I don't care about standing up for yourself. You know what? I'm okay. I don't even care if she gets a suspension. You know what? So be it. So be it. But, like, they're obvious technical fouls. She got swatted by Maria Klindakova yesterday and just squared up to her. Like, she just gets into it with every single player. We saw it in Unrivaled. She gets into it with